Hello, everyone, and welcome into the LILJ Game of the Week, powered by the LI Sports Network. My name's Kevin Broderick, joined by Ellis Joshua over to my right. We're outside today in the bleachers here in Sayville for a top 5 matchup. Ellis, I can feel the excitement beaming off of you right now. The smile is electric. Tell us why this game is going to be just absolutely amazing to watch.
Yeah, Kevin, this matchup here this afternoon between the Sayville Golden Flashes and the Bayport Blue Point Phantoms, this is a rematch of last year's Suffolk County Class C County Championship game. So these two teams were the last two standing in Class C last year, with Sayville narrowly coming away with a win against the Phantoms in that county championship game 7-6. And so far in the 2025 season, these two teams are definitely poised for another deep playoff run once again, with the Phantoms coming into this matchup with a record of 10-1, Sayville coming in at 9-2. So this should absolutely be a great game played here this afternoon today.
And Ellis, I could talk about the different ratings of all the players until I'm blue in the face. How many of these players are committed to very, very notable D1 women's lacrosse schools? Instead of running down all of it, I'm just going to hand it over to you. Who are the most important players to listen for, to watch for in today's matchup?
Yeah, so we'll start with the home team. We'll start with the Golden Flashes. And, I mean, you talk about it, Kevin, just a number of their commits that are committed to play at the next level, but also some of their underclassmen as well. But for the Golden Flashes, you can talk about Sophia Baffardi, number 13, a junior midfielder committed to UNC. Look for Baffardi to have a big impact on the draw circle for the Golden Flashes. Also Morgan Farrell, another junior as well, midfielder committed to Johns Hopkins. Also as well, another junior. A lot of 2026s on this team. Olivia DeSimone, she's having a phenomenal season at midfield, committed to FSU. Defensively, Lucy Livingston, senior, committed to USF. And again, the list just goes on and on with the Golden Flashes.
It does.
Julia Lilienthal in the net, junior, committed to Vanderbilt. Shifting over to the Bayport Blue Point Phantoms, you have the senior midfielder, Ava Mine, committed to Maryland. Also have junior Sarah Richard, committed to Binghamton. Shannon Carney on defense as well, committed to Binghamton. At the midfield, the senior Aubrey Eisfeld, committed to Clemson. So there is a lot of talent on the field today, Kevin, from both sides of the field. Look for this to be a great game.
Absolutely, and as a Stony Brook guy myself, I love always connecting as much of this back to none other than Joe Spallina himself. And Ellis, we were talking briefly before the game. My God, are their connections to the Yellow Jackets team coached by Joe Spallina. So a lot of these girls actually know each other, know some of each other's tendencies. Like you said as well, they played each other last year in very important matchups. Do you think that familiarity is going to play a part in today's game?
Well, I think it could be a combination of that, and also just a combination of these girls playing together as a team on the high school circuit, playing together for the last handful of years. You know, covering these teams with the LILJ over the last couple of years, especially on the Bayport side. A lot of their players now are experienced senior players that are in their final year. They've had a lot of time to play together over the last couple of years and have had a lot of success, winning a state championship in 2023. Going to the Suffolk County Championship last year. So I think just the culmination of all the experience that they've had playing together as a team for their high school will definitely show itself here in this matchup.
Absolutely, and looking at the draw control specifically right now, I have the wonderful LILJ website pulled up in front of me with all the different statistics if you want to follow along. It's obvious that Sophia Baffardi stands out by a mile in terms of the amount of face-offs and the face-off wins. On the other side for Bayport Blue Point, who is supposed to match up against her? Who are you looking for to get that control back over to the Phantoms in key stretches?
Yeah, well, we could see a great matchup today on the draw circle between Sophia Baffardi for Sayville and Ava Mine for Bayport. And that's Maryland going up against UNC on the draw. So that could definitely be a matchup to watch here throughout the course of this game.
Absolutely, as we're getting into the starting lineups, obviously in front of us. Sayville rolling out their starting lineup. We already had the Phantoms announced, and we should just be a few minutes away from the start of this first quarter. Obviously, if you follow along with the LILJ, as you should on social media, weekly top 25 posts are there. Both of these teams are in that top 5. Ellis, how do you come to that conclusion, breaking down the strengths of all these teams?
Yeah, well, there's a few reasons. Of course, the level of talent that these teams have, but also the way that they've played throughout the course of the season, picking up really good wins against really good teams, both on the island and off the island. And Suffolk Class C, Kevin, you can argue that is the deepest conference and class in all of Long Island. So the schedule that these two teams play, it is definitely no picnic, no cakewalk for either of these teams. And again, they've done a great job here thus far throughout the course of the season. Again, just the 1 loss for Bayport and 2 losses for Sayville.
And with that, we'll head into the national anthem before we get into the opening draw control here on the LILJ YouTube page.
Guidelines created by Section 11. Spectators are reminded that all participants in today's game, athletes, coaches, officials, and supervisors.
All right, Alice, last points before we get into action. Some injuries notable for either side. What do you have to report for us on that front?
Yeah, so for the Phantoms, they are without their senior defender committed to Stanford, Emma Brown, and she's out with an ankle injury in a boot. She's on crutches, and so she is out for this game. She's been out for the last couple of weeks, so that's definitely a pivotal loss for the Phantoms. And I know, just speaking with Coach Gait over the last couple of days, also as well, they've been dealing with some minor bumps and bruises, but also some illnesses as well. But he's got the rest of his squad ready to go here today. But no Emma Brown in this matchup for the Phantoms.
It's that time of year, Ellis, where those spring allergies, those spring illnesses start to pop up a little bit. And obviously, when you have close-knit teams, well, one player gets sick, a couple players could get sick. That might be what Bayport and Blue Point is dealing with. But hey, they're still out here and ready to get their lineup rolling. As it looks like we're about to be into the opening draw control right now. Again, that Division I matchup, you can say it right now at the draw control circle. That's we're going to see our first of the day.
Yeah, so already Eva Mine out at midfield. She's ready to take the draw here for the Phantoms. Sayville getting ready to break their huddle and get into their alignments on the field here.
Number 13 against number 13 at the draw control circle as well.
That's right. My lucky number 13. Let's go.
As we get the referee out to midfield to set the ball up. Sayville starting off on the left side of your screen wearing the white jerseys. Bayport Blue Point on the right side of your screen. Referee making sure that both goaltenders are set and ready to go. We got some excited sidelines. And here comes that opening draw control. Which number 13 is going to take it away first? Ball up into the air, push back towards Bayport's side, and they will get control. We're going to get an early card here as well. Awesome. Green card pulled out.
Yeah, so the green card, how about that on the opening draw for the delay of game, which was assessed to number 1, Carly Cangelosi of Sayville.
So it just took 7 seconds to get our first card of the game. Let's see how the Phantoms can roll with this one.
And you know, I mentioned earlier, Kevin, about the county final matchup last year being won by Sayville 7-6, but also too during the regular season last year, their matchup, which was also played right here on this field, that was also a 1-goal game, with Sayville coming away with the win. 9-8, of course. They went on to go undefeated last year.
Pass towards the sideline will go out of bounds as Ellis was setting us up for a low-scoring game, and what do you know? A turnover right there is going to not completely kill off this woman-up advantage, but it could. As we see Sayville get into the offensive ends. Into the fan now, in front of the net for a shot and the first goal. Maybe not as defensive-minded as we thought.
Yeah, Sophia Baffardi, again, we talked about her and her presence on the draw circle, but of course, she is a dynamic offensive player when the ball is in her stick. And after that initial foul committed on Bruckner, Baffardi got the ball, and she took it right down the chute to goal for the early 1-0 lead for the Golden Flashes, just 39 seconds into the first quarter.
So an eventful opening 39 seconds. Baffardi back to the draw control. Mine there to respond, flipped high into the air. It's loose, traveling over to the far sideline. Still no one with clean possession, and before Sayville will take it away.
Yeah, and look for also on the draw circle, not just Baffardi or Mine winning them to themselves, but also winning them to their teammates as well. And Olivia DeSimone, number 10, she was there for that possession. The foul was called, and possession going to the Golden Flashes. So far they are looking to make it back-to-back goals here in the early stages of this game.
String together goals here could be very, very important. Golden Flashes passing around the arc right now, looking for some penetration down towards X. Back up top into the high slot. They swing it one more over to the right. McNamara stick handles, passes left. 45 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time to work with. Our first settled set of the day as well. Ellis, what are you seeing right now? What do you like from this offense?
Yeah, well, these are two teams. If we talk about the defense, Kevin, both of these teams are exceptionally well coached defensively. And you could see this being a situation where potentially, as we have a highlight reel goal.
Pass out in front, a behind the back shot will go. 2 goals already for Baffardi, and it's 2-0 early on for Sayville.
As we take another look at this one, the dish by Dylan McNamara, number 3, and the BTB score by Baffardi, as she can add that one to the highlight reel. And it is quickly 2-0 Golden Flashes. But you know, Kevin, the ball movement is definitely something that's going to be key when you're seeing these teams having settled offensive possessions. Because again, both defenses are phenomenally well coached. And the ball movement, making the ball do the work, not trying to do too much one-on-one, that is definitely going to be pivotal in this matchup.
So possession will go back to Bayport Blue Point once more, trying to find their first tally. The UNC commit Baffardi has had her impact all over this game already, as Bayport will get into the offensive end for the first time this game. Again, you got to remember that just a couple of minutes ago, they had the woman up advantage off the green card and then proceeded to throw it out of bounds on the far side. Now the pass is looking a little bit more clinical.
Yeah, and if you're Bayport, Of course, not the start that you were looking to get off to, trailing 2-0 here, but now it's just about how you respond.
Bruckner sends it to the right side of the arc. Move to the goal line extended as we hit 9 minutes. Good forced turnover right there. Will Sayville get possession off of it? They will.
That's a great job by Morgan Farrell, number 8, coming up with the turnover, and she gets to Bafardi.
Bafardi will instantly take it forward. Has it poked loose of her control for a second, but finds it high up in the air. Brings it all the way down to the goal line extended. Bafardi still rocking with control. Finally sending a pass off to McNamara. Will send it high into the slot. We have a lot of Sayville junior varsity players, it looks like, Ellis, here in support. Penetration coming into the fan. A shot. They score.
What a start for the Golden Flashes. As we take another look at this one, that goal scored for Sayville by number 24, Sienna Lehman, the sophomore. And it is quickly 3-0 Golden Flashes here in the first quarter.
Lehman with her 5th goal of the year to extend it to a 3-0 lead. Sayville, how do you do?
By number 24, Sienna Lehman. Great start for the Golden Flashes.
So now as we make our way back to the draw circle, Bayport, they can definitely use one here to get back in this game and try to stem the tide on this Golden Flashes momentum, as we have a fight for the ground ball here on the draw, and possession will be awarded to the Phantoms. Ball with Emma Shanahan, number 26.
Continues to be contested on the draw control. You like to see it from both sides.
Yeah, you can definitely see this being potentially 50-50 on the draw circle, which could of course end up being pivotal if this game does wind up coming down to 1 or 2 possessions down the stretch.
Phantoms getting another solid look. Eisfeld getting her first touch. Shot almost going free, and we're going to get a quick whistle. I believe our first free position shot coming up as well.
Yeah, first free position, as it's Erica Krusher, the lefty attacker, number 27, drawing the shooting space for the Phantoms, and she shoots.
Thinking shot, and she'll score. First one for the Phantoms comes off the free position. We'll go back to the draw control circle to see if Bayport can turn this into a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, and that's just what the doctor ordered for the Phantoms, with Krusher being able to draw the shooting space. And for a lefty, of course, a great angle to try to put that one through, and she does just that. So the Phantoms, they end the 3-0 start by Sayville to get on the board here, to get back within 2.
So Bafardi and mine back to the draw control. Already the 5th time we're here. So we've gotten to see plenty of action between the Maryland and the UNC commit. I like the active looks around the circle as well, Ellis. No one standing still. Ball flipped back towards Bayport. Bafardi going through some traffic, and she'll win control for her team. Referees stop the momentum just a little bit, but Bafardi will come back with it anyways. Referees making sure everything's set up. Bafardi will give it forward. 3-1 lead controlled right now for the Golden Flashes. They'll try to extend it back to a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, and for Sayville, they are coming into this game coming off of a 15-8 win back on April 30th against Comswag. And again, they are 9-2 on the season.
McNamara.
One loss to Darien of Connecticut, and also to Smithtown West. As we have the shooting space drawn by Olivia DeSimone, the FSU commit.
Off to the right, so it's an awkward angle if she wants to try to shoot it from there. Could elect to go in on goal. Instead, she'll pass it out. Bafardi coming out in front. A shot falling down. Referee blew a whistle before that, and I think we might have had a crease violation right there, so it's back to the Phantoms.
Yeah.
That was actually Dylan McNamara with the ball.
Yeah, in the crease was the call there on the attempt by McNamara. So Bayport, they look to clear the ball back up to their offense, and a nice job by Kaylee Bruckner doing just that for the Phantoms. as we hit the midway point here in the first quarter.
So we've seen 4 goals already. Considering what the scores were last time they faced off, definitely a big change as a big lollipop pass almost sails out of bounds. Ava does come away with it and resets in the high slot, finding Olivia Brady there. Phantoms will continue to circle it around the perimeter. Pass down low to the X, does reach its intended target. 50 seconds left on the shot clock. One more pass, good stick move. Olivia getting in and will draw some contact to go to the free position, Ellis. Second one already for Bayport.
Yeah, and that's a nice job by the sophomore Olivia Brady. Just being able to dodge and weave her way inside and absorb the contact to set up this free position.
Wrister down low, will go. It's 3-2. The Phantoms tightening this game up a little bit.
Yeah, and that's back-to-back goals now for the Phantoms. This one scored by Brady. So they are back within 1. And again, nice job by Olivia Brady drawing the contact. Great spot for the free position. And it's all about the placement as she sniped that one to bring the Phantoms back within 2.
So 5:13 left in this opening quarter. I feel like this, obviously we're too early on to really say anything definitive about this game, but I do feel like this next goal will mean a lot for the momentum.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, that's a good point. It could potentially be a turning point with Bayport looking to try to make it 3 unanswered to tie the game as they win the draw here, or Sayville pushing the lead back to 2.
Eisfeld will take it forward and passing it into the offensive end. Tying a game after going down 3 just has to be such a weight off your shoulders to know that you reset. So Eisfeld trying to do exactly that. Gives it over to Bruckner, holds on to it, left side of the arc, back over to Aubrey. 66 seconds on the shot clock. It's an eternity of time to work with, but they do have to find some penetration and a solid look. They've been good at drawing the free position shots so far, but that's not going to happen every single time.
Yeah, and the free position in women's lacrosse, it is certainly a huge deal, as that could be a game changer, being able to get those calls, draw the shooting space. Of course, puts the goalie in a bit of a tough position as well, depending on the angle.
Eisfeld getting in and will draw another one.
So that's been the key so far for the Phantoms, is drawing the free position shot, as now it's the senior Aubrey Eisfeld, the Clemson commit, looking for the equalizer.
Eisfeld, top 25 commit in the country, lines up a shot and she'll score. 3-3. We're all tied up.
So how about that, Kevin? All 3 goals for the Phantoms, free positions, and that is certainly a way to get back into this game.
Aubrey will go on to be a teammate with Alexa Spalina over in Clemson. Both of them decommitting from Syracuse and then going over to the Tigers. That was a big story. I think, what was it, last year, Ellis, when that happened?
Yep, last year, making the flip, and now they'll be heading down to Clemson.
Now, I'm not sure how closely you follow college journalism outlets. As a journalism major myself at Stony Brook, I do read the Daily Orange from time to time.
Nice.
They were just astounded when Alexa decided to decommit from Syracuse. They thought it was a shoo-in move, but hey, unexpected things happen all the time in lacrosse. As Bafardi will win another draw and takes it into the offensive end. Dylan McNamara with it, getting it goal line extended, flipping it back up top.
And this is a big possession here for Sayville in the first quarter. Looking to respond after the 3 consecutive goals by Bayport. Golden Flashes trying to jump back in front.
DeSimone thinks about a shot instead. Ends up down low to Bafardi, gives it to the left side of the fan. A good strip comes away, and the Phantoms have the ball back, looking for their first lead of the game. Transition is key.
A great defensive stance by Bayport, forcing that turnover, the GB to mine.
They're going quickly as well. Ellis already into the fan, pass out in front, room to shoot, and another free position brought out by Olivia Brady.
Yeah, once again, Bayport doing a great job of drawing the shooting space. And it's the sophomore, Olivia Brady, looking for her second goal of this quarter.
From the left side of the fan this time, winds up for a shot, and it's saved.
A timely save there by Julia Lilienthal for Sayville, and the quick hitter up to Varsity. Here come the Golden Flashes.
What can she do? Gives it out left side of the arc, not going to take it from root to root. Instead, settling this down a little bit. That's a veteran move right there from Varsity, knowing that her team has had success in these settled sets already.
Yeah, definitely the right move. You don't want to force the issue, especially after you get that timely save to keep it tied up. Now you just want to make sure you get a quality shot on goal here on this possession.
Out in front, the shot taken, rings off the bar, should reset the shot clock, and it does. Whistle from the referees will give control back over to the Phantoms, and we go back and forth on this control.
So how about that? After we've seen the goals coming in a flurry here throughout this quarter, now down the stretch, we've seen a couple of big stops by both teams to keep this game tied up.
Question is, who breaks through next for that 4-3 lead? Not guaranteed to come this quarter either. We can go the next 130 with no one scoring and go back to the draw control. I say that, pass out in front, rings high into the air and pulled down.
Yeah, and that's going to be a save for Lilienthal to reset the shot clock. So now the Phantoms, they can essentially hold here for the final minute 20 of the quarter, as the shot clock and the game clock are basically identical here.
Quick math coming out from Ellis. I always make the joke, I don't do math like that on air. It never goes well for me.
You know, I was thinking too, that was a little risky bringing that up for me too.
No, but
I'm not a math guy either.
You were dead on. Pass out to the left side of the arc. The ball is loose on the ground right now. Stays there a little bit longer than I think Phantom fans were comfortable with, but it does come away for Brady. Gives it up high, Icefield thinking shot, passing it out in front. A great move and a better shot somehow saved by Lilienthal. She makes it 3 in a row now.
Big time save by the Vandy commit, Julia Lilienthal. That keeps this game tied up at 3. And now Sayville, they get the ball up to their offense here. Now they can hold for the final shot and potentially retake the lead at the end of this first quarter.
Like Ellis said, shot clock is dead. Another GB coming up, but it will be a quick whistle from the referees and recontrolled by the Golden Flashes. 15 seconds left. It's going to have to be do or die at this point. McNamara rocks with possession down below the goal line, inverting it back up top and then feeding a new teammate there. Looking for a pass out in front, a shot off the turf and high above the crossbar. Will sail out of bounds and will hit zeros here in the first quarter. 3-3 the score. This game definitely living up to expectations.
Yeah, and Sayville, they had a great chance there on that final shot to potentially take the lead. The feed there by Abby Galaris, and Varsity looking to kind of spike that one home, but just unable to connect. So this one will stay tied up at 3 after quarter number 1.
So it's not a lot of time to reset between these quarters, obviously, just 2 minutes. But for a coach, that might feel like an eternity just to get everything you're thinking off of your mind. From either side, Ellis, what do you think the message is?
Yeah, so I think if you're the Phantoms, after falling into that 3-0 hole early in the first quarter, they did a great job of responding with 3 unanswered goals. Now you want to look to carry that momentum into the second quarter now to see if you can take your first lead. And if you're the Golden Flashes, I think you have to look at it as the 3 goals that you allowed, they were all on free positions. So if you can kind of just tune up your defense just a little bit, make sure that you deny the shooting space opportunity for Bayport, then they'll still be in a really good position throughout the rest of this game.
Couldn't agree with you more. You're listening and watching the Game of the Week here on LILJ, brought to you by the LI Sports Network. My name is Kevin Broderick, joined by Ellis here on the microphone, Rowan Loddick up above us doing the production and running the replay, Wally Mitchell on the camera providing you all of the beautiful shots that you see in front and on your screen. It's a beautiful day out, Ellis. I do have to say, this is perfect lacrosse weather. Definitely not like the NCAA games that a lot of these girls are going to be playing where it's early February, it's snowing outside in some cases. This is a spring sport after all. You got to have a nice breeze going.
Oh yeah, this is the type of weather that we're talking about, Kevin. It really doesn't get much better than this for a nice spring day here in early May. I remember covering the regular season matchup last year between these two teams, and it was a completely different story. A bitter cold game. That was actually a night game as well here at Sayville, played at 7 o'clock. But I like the 4 p.m. start. I think they did it right here, and we couldn't have had a better day thus far.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and you're South Shore, so you have that nice breeze coming in off the ocean. I mean, it's really peak conditions right now. So the Phantoms taking a little bit more time on their huddle up right now. We should be getting into the second quarter in just a couple of seconds. 3-3 the score right now. It's been a 3-goal run for either side, originally belonging to the Golden Flashes, then belonging to the Phantoms. So you can say a little bit more momentum for Bayport.
Yeah, and this could be a big draw here to open up the second quarter. You know, a lot of times, Kevin, we say it's not about how you start, it's how you finish.
Absolutely.
But sometimes how you start can be just as important. So Sayville, they would love nothing more than to start off quarter number 2 the way that they started off quarter number 1, jumping out to an early lead.
So it's number 13 on number 13 in the draw control once more. We've seen these two go at it for every draw thus far, and we'll probably see them go at it for every other draw that we get. Referee setting it up right now, midfield. Ball flipped behind Bafardi, and coming in for the scoop is Eisfeld. She'll quickly wheel it forward and past the restraining line. First possession going over to the Phantoms. Question is, can they break through for their first lead? Either side had opportunities to find their 4th goal, but it was really Lilienthal who started to show up late stages of the first quarter.
Yeah, she definitely had some pivotal saves towards the end of quarter number 1 as Bayport with multiple chances to take the lead, but Lilienthal kept it tied up.
Penetration into the fan, shot taken, and a save made by Lilienthal. Make that 4 in a row.
So she starts off quarter number 2 the way she ended quarter number 1 with another timely save to keep this one even at 3. But now Bayport looking for the turnover as we have a whistle here.
And it will go over to the Phantom. So a nice ride coming out. Got to mention Lilienthal's save percentage on the season, according to the LILJ website, 49%. That's not bad.
No, you will take that any day of the week in girls and women's lacrosse. Because again, we talked about it earlier, the amount of free positions that you could see, those are not easy to stop. So if you're at around 50%, you will take
Pass
that.
out in front, they score! Just like that. With 10:30 left in the second quarter, it's 4-3, and the Phantoms have the lead.
And that one scored by Sarah Richard to give Bayport their first lead of the game. And the assist there going to Aubrey Eisfeld. And so from a 3-0 deficit to a 4-3 lead, Bayport, they jump out in front.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout called on the field. There's some discussion going on.
Yeah, this is not a timeout taken by either of the coaches.
Yes.
Not quite sure what our officials are going to check.
You know what? It looks like they're running over to the shot clock on the right side of the field.
Yeah, not sure if maybe a wire got knocked out.
Obviously important to have it going. There we go. It's flickering back to life. So that's just a couple of feet off your screen to the right. Obviously, Wally can't hear us, so that's why he's not panning over.
Yeah, good eye to spot that for sure. Of course, you want to make sure you have both shot clocks up and running here.
Yep.
You know, one of the things that I've seen, Kevin, at not many games, but a few games that I've covered with the LILJ throughout the course of the season, some schools having one shot clock placed in the middle of the field on the sideline. But of course, certainly more ideal to have the 2 shot clocks going, one in each corner at opposite ends of the field.
Now, obviously, when these girls get to the NCAA level, there'll be shot clocks littered throughout the field, sometimes up to 6. But I agree with you, having the shot clock in the middle of the field, it can definitely be a pain. That's why you have the sidelines that call out the times for their players, but you rather just check it yourself. You know, give a quick glance over.
Oh yeah, 100%. Now let's see, Kevin, how do the Golden Flashes respond after facing their first deficit here in this game?
Well, they're going to start it off on the right foot, obviously with control, but having some troubles getting it into the offensive end and a solo job to get it there.
Yeah, nice stick control and protection by Cangelosi, making sure that they value this possession here. But that is a good job by the Phantoms. Sayville, they have about 40 seconds to work with, which is still ample time, but a good job by Bayport, making them use a lot of the shot clock, clearing the ball.
Varsity on the far side of your screen right now. She'll wrap it to the near. Passes continue. Varsity faking some pressure into the fan before peeling back out. McNamara back to Varsity. The pass is going to go a little wide and all the way out of bounds. An unforced error right there. The Phantoms will take it any day of the week and look for a multi-goal lead now.
Yeah, tough turnover there for the Golden Flashes. The unforced ones, of course, those are the ones that you would like to have back. But now Bayport, can they take advantage of this turnover? And as you said, Kevin, grab a multi-goal lead here.
Lilienthal has been tough to beat over the last, I want to say, 8 or so minutes. So it's definitely not a guarantee right now. And the Golden Flashes have been playing ample defense in front of her.
Yeah, and having Julia Lilienthal as your last line of defense, she is as good as it gets here on Long Island in the cage.
Pass is just around the perimeter right now. The Phantoms got in with a lot of time on the shot clock, so they can just have a slow development right here. Some moves are finally coming. Pass intercepted, and it will be knocked down, controlled by the Golden Flashes. They could look for a transition goal right now, rocking forward 5-on-5.
Great knockdown by Olivia DeSimone, and Tessa Meehan, she scooped up the ground ball and the quick outlet to Morgan Farrell. Now Sayville gonna settle this possession down here. Good transition defense by the Phantoms.
DeSimone, a defensive player with 35 points on the season.
Yeah, Olivia DeSimone, she has definitely shown her offensive abilities here this season, as we have the free position drawn by Carly Cangelosi. Just going back to DeSimone, more of a defender on the club circuit for Yellow Jackets, but playing a lot of midfield here for Sayville, and she's done a great job. She's had a phenomenal season offensively. Now let's see if Cangelosi can tie this one up.
Springing forward, her shot will go high above the crossbar. Backup does belong to Sayville. So with 48 seconds left, they bring it back out in front. Varsity at the X, losing control of her cradle, does get it back. Now with 40, gives it to the left side of the arc. Lehman gives it, gets it. Back to the top of the slot. 6:53 left. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Ball is at X. Score is 4-3. Sayville have not scored since the first quarter. We're almost halfway through the second. Potential shot coming up here from the slot. Instead, it's a spin move. Feed over to the left side of the fan. Diving angle coming through. The rebound will go to Varsity. No reset on the shot clock. Now it does come through, Ellis.
Yeah, the referees definitely signaled for the reset there, as Sophia Diaz, she got a piece of that one for the Phantoms. Now a fresh clock for Sayville to work with.
Cangelosi has it, looking left, will feed it into the fan. No shot coming through. Good defense for the Phantoms. Cangelosi with it again, looking for another feed. Out in front, shot taken, and another save made by Diaz.
Back-to-back big saves by Sophia Diaz, keeping the Phantoms with the 1-goal lead. Sayville, though, doing a good job on the rebounds, getting multiple chances.
Out in front, and they will score. Falling to her knees. Lehman will get it up to a 4-goal game, as we'll take a replay of that here on the LI Sports Network.
And again, it's all about the second and third opportunities. And how about the pinpoint pass on time and on target by Carly Cangelosi, and Lehman, she takes care of the rest for her second of the game.
Offensive rebounding, not really much of a statistic in lacrosse as it is in basketball, but that was the key to that possession right there.
Yeah, well, you know, it is all about getting those rebounds, Kevin, you know, getting the save. You're doing half the job there, but being able to corral the ball and get the ball back up to your offense is a whole different ball game. And Sayville taking advantage of their second and third opportunities to tie the game up at 4.
I don't want anyone to forget the fact that Varsity started off this game with back-to-back goals, the first 2 goals. It's gone a little quiet since then, but has still been getting these wins in the draw control circle. This time it'll be flipped behind her, and Maine will take it away. I say that, Varsity on a great second effort, and what do you know?
Oh yeah, love the hustle by Sophia Varsity there, not giving up on that play. As you said it, Kevin, it looked like possession was going to Bayport, but Varsity able to get it back for Sayville, and they'll look to once again retake the lead.
Varsity will give it to the left side, or make that right side of the fan. Teammates continue to rotate. McNamara getting harassed back below. Pass into the fan, and we'll get a free position shot coming up. DeSimone awarded it. 12 goals on the season, trying to make it 13 and give her team the lead. It's a tough angle coming from that far right side. Starting her cradle off low, will pass it off to McNamara. Now Varsity. Varsity to the left side. 4:50 left in the quarter, 50 seconds on the shot clock. Pass into the fan, a loose shot is saved by Diaz, and another rebound goes over to the Golden Flashes. We'll obviously bring a new shot clock as well, so they've been just dominating offensive possession in these later stages of the second quarter. Another pass to the fan, big contact, and we will obviously get a whistle off of it.
Yeah, so Abby Galaris drawing the contact for Sayville. So she draws that foul. But yeah, you said it, Kevin. Sayville doing a good job here in the second quarter, winning the ground ball game after these initial shot attempts, which had been saved by Diaz. Now a free position for Galaris to try to give Sayville the lead.
Galaris rips it past Diaz.
Sayville, go!
And it's another lead for Sayville. The Golden Flashes back on top. And that is the 14th goal of the season for Galaris.
And you really can't ask for a better spot on a free position. And Galaris, she cashes in for her first goal of the game. How about this game, Kevin, so far here in the first half? Back and forth affair it is.
Absolutely. You know, Ellis, I know it's a little lower scoring, but it actually kind of reminds me of the game we were working on Wednesday.
Well, you know, I think it's just been very, very well balanced, and I think you've seen some nice plays being run both offensively and defensively for both teams. I don't think this game can be classified yet as a shootout, but the goals not at a premium either, with a 5-4 game here with 4 minutes to go in quarter number 2.
I feel like everything has been so contested. Draw control's probably split about 50-50. Shots on goal going in 50% of the time. And these possessions aren't clean either. Ellis, I think you hit the nail on the head. Everything about this game is just close.
Yeah, and that's really what you would expect between two teams that you have to figure are very evenly matched. And again, these are the teams over the last handful of years that have represented Suffolk County Class C in at least the Long Island Championship game, if not beyond. These two teams winning the last 2 state championships in Class C. Sayville in 2024 going undefeated, and Bayport in 2023 also going undefeated.
Portia Room in, free position drawn. It'll come from the far right hash mark.
So we have another free position here, drawn by Erica Krusher. She's got 1 so far in this game, looking for number 2.
The Stony Brook commit will rip it. It goes wide to the left, and Lilienthal catches it out of the air anyways. Varsity in transition, has no one near her right now, is wheeling all the way till goal. Passing it off to her left, gets it over to her teammates, and they'll settle it down.
And again, gotta commend Bayport for the transition defense, getting back, getting in the hole, not allowing a transition shot by Sayville. A wise decision by the Golden Flashes to settle in here. But I just like the decisiveness and the quickness of Julia Lilienthal on these saves, quickly getting it to her outlets.
That one looks like it rang off the bar. The big rebound this time will go over to Brady. Finally, the Phantoms feel like they get a shot into their sticks. Quickly in transition, Brady to the net front. Brady, her shot, she scores!
Oh.
Coast to coast for another tie game.
Olivia Brady, what energy, what hustle, showcasing that speed, going coast to coast. As you said, Kevin, she went all the way as she saw the daylight. And that's exactly what you have to do when you're in transition, take advantage of the numbers. And she did just that for her second of the game to tie this game up at 5. And Olivia Brady, she showcased right there why she is definitely going to be a top recruit in the class of 2027 here on the island.
I mean, 2027, it's crazy that she's showing all of this while still being an underclassman.
Yeah, and seeing her game develop and blossom over the last couple of years, it's just been tremendous to watch. And it is great seeing her thrive here on the biggest stage at the varsity level for
How about that draw control, Ellis?
Yeah, now that's a win for the Phantoms on the draw. You said it, Kevin, and now they can kind of grab the momentum back here towards the end of the second quarter.
Small details for Ava as well. Takes the draw controls with a different stick than she likes to use in play. I see that a lot of different athletes are split on that approach. Some use the same stick for the draw control and to shoot with. Others prefer a different one. I think it's more about the lacing that you're comfortable shooting with.
Yeah, it's really just about the preference. Some go with the draw stick, and then, of course, if you're playing as an offensive midfielder or an offensive player, you got to quickly make the switch on the sideline and get back into the play.
Not exactly like a Fogo in men's lacrosse where you're only doing one thing. Women's lacrosse, a little bit more flexible because you got more players on the field. So the Phantoms looking for another lead to be the second of the quarter. 30-second difference between shot clock and game clock. So the Golden Flashes potentially with a response here. Ball down low to the X. Pass up top, high slot. Bruckner, good spin move, giving it free in the slot, and a free position shot potentially drawn here.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love the energy here at Sayville, Kevin.
Yeah.
We couldn't quite hear the whistle, but of course we see the stoppage of play.
Flag pulled out of the pocket as well.
Yeah, so this does stay with the Phantoms here. Possession with number 17, Sarah Richard.
Plenty of fans in attendance for this game.
And they did have a reset on the shot clock, but don't believe the shot clock should have been reset. So I think our officials are going to have that discussion at the scorers table.
It's been a solid officiating crew so far today.
Yeah, of course, the little details matter for sure in a game like this, and they've been all over it thus far. Definitely have to give them credit.
So shot clock is currently dead. Julia lining up for it. The shot will go.
And so Sarah Richard, she gives the Phantoms the 6-5 lead.
By number 17.
Lilienthal not able to find a piece of that one. Again, the way that she's been playing so far, definitely possible for her to get a lot of these draw controls, but I think her teammates are more focused on limiting those opportunities anyways. The Phantoms with a 6-5 lead, 28 seconds left. Ellis, it would not shock me if we see one last goal from the Golden Flashes to tie this game up going into halftime.
Yeah, well, this is a big draw here with 28 seconds remaining in the half. You could see this going either way. If Bayport wins this draw, of course, they're looking to add to this lead going into halftime.
Yep.
If Sayville were to win it, they have their sights set on tying the game, but possession going to Ava Mine and the Phantoms.
Mine getting the better of Varsity right now. She hops over to the left side of the field, gets the pass back. Remember, she likes to switch out her stick, so different one right now.
Yeah, now inside of 10 seconds on the game clock. Phantoms looking to add to this lead as the feed by Brock.
Make it 5 seconds. Shot. Lilienthal will save it. She'll hold on and draw out the rest of the time. We'll go into halftime with a 6-5 Bayport lead. Ellis, how did this half surprise you? How did this half play up to your expectations?
Yeah, well, I would say that it definitely played up to my expectations more than surprised me. Again, these teams are so evenly matched. Again, they played 2 one-goal games a season ago, both of those going in favor of Sayville. So no surprise that with these two teams, again, being so stacked talent-wise, that they would play a tightly contested game here today. So it's still a lot to be decided in the second half of this game. Should be a great one here in quarters number 3 and number 4.
Absolutely, and with that, we'll turn it over to a quick halftime break here on LILJ, brought to you by the LI Sports Network, and we'll see who's going to end up taking this one in the next 24 minutes.
Playing college lacrosse, don't leave your future to chance. Top-tier recruiting gives you the roadmap. Whether you're in middle school, high school, or already getting recruited, Top Tier is the place to be to help you in your process. Led by former players and coaches, Top Tier provides webinars, personalized guidance, and truth about the recruiting process. Monthly plans, premium access, and real results. And you can sign up today right here at toptierrecruiting.com.
Are you ready for the second half? Because I know we are here on the LILJ YouTube page, brought to you by the LI Sports Network. My name's Kevin Broder, joined by Ellis Joshua. Rowan Loddick doing the production above us, running those replays, and the notorious, lovely Wally Mitchell on camera, making sure that the shots are perfect as well. 24 minutes of lacrosse remain in front of us. Ellis, as the de facto expert of everything Long Island lacrosse, what are you thinking in your head right now? What do you need to see from either side to take a hotly contested matchup?
Well, I think we are definitely in store for a fantastic second half, Kevin, based on how the first half has gone. And I think based on what we've seen in the first 2 quarters of play, for the Phantoms, after trailing 3-0, they did a really good job, I thought, again, of moving the ball, drawing shooting space. That's how they were able to get back into this game, scoring 3 unanswered goals. Of course, we saw a response by Sayville before Bayport retook the lead. I think for Sayville, they've done a good job. Even though Sophia Diaz, she's done a great job in the net for Bayport, Sayville's done a really good job of getting those second and third opportunities.
Absolutely.
And they were able to take advantage a couple times there in that second quarter. But look for a phenomenal second half in store between these two teams.
Icefield gets the feed off the draw control and quickly gives it into the offensive end, playing some catch and go as the Phantoms had some nice momentum towards net right there. We'll slow it down and get into a settled set. 20 seconds gone by, looking for first blood in the second half. An update on the weather conditions. I say that ball is loose and heading out of bounds. Will go all the way past the line. And hey, that works out for the Golden Flashes. They'll take control back.
Yeah, tough turnover for Bayport as that one trickled out of bounds. So Sayville, they get it back here, looking to tie up the game at 6.
DeSimone will slow down, giving it to her left now with Bafardi. Like I was saying about those conditions, I think it's going to impact Diaz the most, as the sun is now directly to our left and definitely shining onto the field. Diaz might get blinded from a couple of angles, so you could look at the Golden Flashes to take advantage of that. DeSimone on the right side of the arc, passing right. They'll continue to work it around the perimeter right now. Plenty of attendance and support for this Sayville team. DeSimone again into the slot, takes the shot and scores. Falling down to her left, it's a 6-6 game.
What a take by the FSU commit, Olivia DeSimone. As we take another look at this one, way to attack the cage, DeSimone, and taking the contact, but unfazed, still able to bury that one to tie the game up at 6. And again, we talked about in the first half, Kevin, DeSimone and the offensive season that she has had for this Sayville team. And a lot of it has been done based on her distributing, as she came into this game with 35 points, 23 of those of the assist variety. But that time, DeSimone showcasing the quickness and the foot speed to get to cage and tie up the game.
So we're going to have a violation on the face-off. Looks like we'll redo it. Again, Ellis, this game could not be any closer. You could not ask for a better scoreline right now. Draw control, flipped up into the air, and Icefield will take it away. Aubrey Icefield, obviously the younger sister of Hayden Icefield, who is currently playing for the Sea Wolves, heading on to the CAA Finals on Saturday.
Yeah, shout out to the Stony Brook women's lacrosse team, as we have a turnover here.
Long stretch pass forward, another ground ball upcoming, and it goes right back to the Phantoms. Icefield with it again, moving down the middle of the field and passing off to her right. She'll go net front just in case she can get the feedback, but the Phantoms once again will settle things at the top of the arc. 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter, 6-6 the score. The one goal belonging to DeSimone so far.
And I thought that was good transition defense by Sayville, getting back after the turnover. Now, how about the on-ball defense?
Great on-ball defense. Forces the ball back out to the perimeter once more. Under 60 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, that's a really nice job on ball. It was number 15, Sophia Vario, just a sophomore. playing here in a big spot.
Eisfeld, good dodge, spinning around in the fan. Her shot will go off to the right. No penalties on that play either, so Lilienthal will avoid having to face another free position shot like she has to so often this game. Now we will get a whistle from the referees. I think the shot clock reset when it wasn't supposed to, Ellis.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Kevin. I don't think that we should have had a reset there. That shot was not saved by Lilienthal, nor did it get a piece of the pipe. So our officials, again, spot on with the observation. So we'll have the shot clock. Looks like it'll be at 48 seconds here for the Phantoms to work with.
Still a good amount of time. Phantoms bringing it in. Pass off to the X. Looking for a penetrating pass, and it will be knocked down instantly by that Golden Flashes defense. You see who got a stick on that, Ellis?
That's a really good knockdown. I think getting in the mix there. Looked like it might have been DeSimone, and then coming up with possession, number 14, Carly Brady.
DeSimone had it poked loose for a second, but she's been all over the field. Offense, defense, back to offense. McNamara trotting down the goal line, feeds it off to the X position. Back out to the left side of the arc. DeSimone with it again, instantly pressured by two, and she'll find some release. Pass out in front, all alone, finishing down low, and Diaz got it with the foot, I think.
What a save on the doorstep there by Sofia Diaz. A point-blank look for Galaris, but Diaz with the denial.
DeSimone now down low. McNamara coming around. Her shot will go wide over to the left, and the backup will belong to Baffardi.
And McNamara looking like she was trying to deliver a number of fakes, and then just not able to release that one cleanly as the shot went wide.
DeSimone in the slot, dancing off to the right, spinning back to the left.
Great defense by Eisfeld.
Great isolation defense as well. That's not easy to do against DeSimone, but Eisfeld obviously one of the best players in the country right now at the high school level. DeSimone takes a couple of steps in, looking for a pass towards the middle, and who else but the Phantoms are there to break it up in transition. This is Olivia Brady with the rock right now, has numbers, giving it off to her right, fake shot. Brady gets it back in the fan, takes the shot, but the free position was there first.
And how about Bayport turning defense into offense? A great defensive stop, forcing the takeaway and the quick outlet by Bruck up to Brady. And then a nice give and go.
Lilienthal getting some encouragement from her teammates right now. It's Brady lining up for it, moves in on net and sails it a little too high above the crossbar. Backup does belong to Bayport Blue Point though. Eisfeld took a fake. Florida the call from the sideline for the Phantoms. Obviously, you have to call all these plays in the heat of the battle, so you need everyone to be on the same page and hear it. It's one of the parts that I love about lacrosse.
Yeah, and we can't say enough, Kevin, about the atmosphere.
Eisfeld in, she scores!
Aubrey Eisfeld, her second of the game. And Bayport, they jump back in front, 7-6.
And I don't disagree with you about the atmosphere, considering the fact that we get an away team goal and there's still an audience on the far side of the field to celebrate it.
Yeah, and of course, this is a good old-fashioned rivalry game as well. Two neighboring communities, so no surprise that we have a packed house here today. And again, with the way this game has gone, expect it to go right down to the wire. Both teams trading blows. Bayport at the moment leading this one 7-6 as we're back at the draw circle for another battle between Baffardi and Mine.
Ellis, I can't help but shake the feeling that we're going to get down to the 2-minute, 1-minute mark in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden that draw control will feel like it decides the game. Question is, will that become a reality as we get another draw control going here? Baffardi had a good look at it, but Eisfeld comes away with the rock. Eisfeld splitting the defense into the offensive end now.
Yeah, nice job by Brady there. Splitting the defense, being able to protect the ball. And now Bayport looking to go up 2 here as we're just beyond the midway point here in this third quarter.
Brady in the high slot. Looks like she'll have Bafardi marking her there. Not really pressured right now. She'll swing it to her left for Eisfeld. Down low to the goal line. Back for Aubrey. Left arc. She'll pass it over to the right side. Move into the fan. Lots of contact, and we will get a flag drawn from the pocket. Free position shot upcoming.
So possession staying with the Phantoms as it's Sarah Richard with the rock. Richard, a lefty sniper, junior, committed to Binghamton.
Let's see what Bing's got, and it's a shot off the turf into the stick of Lilienthal. Julia Lilienthal getting a nice reaction from the crowd right there.
Great save made by Julia Lilienthal. Richard looking for the finish down low, and Lilienthal all over that one to keep this a 7-6 game.
DeSimone to McNamara. Back to DeSimone. She has plenty of room to work with right now. 4:44 left in the third quarter. This quarter has definitely flown by. Bafardi in the slot. To DeSimone, and now McNamara again. She'll use her legs and look for a new angle of attack. 45 on the shot clock, ticking a little bit lower. Golden Flashes not feeling the pressure just yet. They're down by 1 goal. Wrap around the cage, shot could be upcoming. Diaz not tested, instead comes from a different angle, lots of contact, and the ball is loose on the ground. Phantoms pick it up first.
How about the GB there for the Phantoms? Nice job coming up with that one. Shannon Carney, great hustle for that ground ball. And
an
now
important
it's back
one.
the other way.
Multi-goal leads have been hard to come by since the opening stages of the game. A pass to the fan, an underhand shot, and they score.
And that is going to be a hat trick for Olivia Brady. Her third of the game as we take another look at this one.
Scored by number 2, Olivia Brady.
Ellis, that was absurd.
What a shot there by Brady. And give that assist to Eva Mine. Phantoms, they lead this one 8-6 with 3:45 here in the third.
So Brady with a hat trick is up to 27 goals on the season. Does she have any assists in this game, Ellis, do we know?
She is 3-0 in this game.
So 27 goals for a total of 31 points. Not bad for a 2027 graduation date.
Now I'd say this is a big draw here, Kevin. Bayport, they have the momentum right now. They can feel it on the sideline.
Big flip back, round ball upcoming. Do we have a hold? It will. The crowd knew it. Golden Flashes will get possession. McNamara with the rock right now. Gives it over to DeSimone. She'll bring it past the restraining line again. LSU set a big draw. Will it be a bigger goal if they can convert this one, get the game back to 1?
Yeah, this is a moment where Sayville could definitely use one here to get back within 1. Bayport has to like where they're at so far in this third quarter.
Clock is definitely flying by now. Sun is continuing to set, so Diaz might have to fight that off. Galaris giving it over to Bafardi. Continues the momentum left, now gets the pass back. McNamara has some room, not going to take a step with it. Instead, giving it back to Bafardi now on the left side of the arc. Bafardi with some momentum, picked up by 2, now 3. Trying to find an outlet pass and does. Ball moved into the fan and lots of contact there. Should get a free position out of it, much to the enjoyment of the Sayville crowd in attendance, as we got a nice LIR train going by in the background.
Yeah, and this is going to be Morgan Farrell, the Hopkins commit, lining up here for the free position. This is a big spot here for Sayville. Can Farrell deliver and get the Golden Flashes back within 1?
Diaz standing up. Ball is loose. It hits the deck and comes away from the Golden Flashes again. Reset on the shot clock, so it's at 83 and ticking.
big save there by Diaz, and a big ground ball secured by Carly Cangelosi. So a fresh clock for Sayville.
Bruckner giving it to McNamara. Down low for Buffardi. Back to McNamara at the goal line extended. She takes a move in and some big contact. Referees have to call that and will.
Yeah, so the contact there drawn by McNamara, the contact by Bruckner, so she'll start behind. Ball will remain with Dylan McNamara here.
McNamara, what is she seeing? Thinks to move it out and take some more contact. This time it's ruled as clean, and the breakaway for the Phantoms coming through. A mishandle on the pass from Brady will slow it down a little bit, but with 1:15 left in the quarter and a 2-goal lead, the Phantoms can try to make it 3.
A big minute approaching here to wind down the third quarter. Bayport looking for their largest lead of the game. And Sayville in much need of a defensive stop here to wind down the quarter. And the shot clock, as they do turn it off, because it is not a factor here now with 45 seconds remaining in the quarter. Bayport, they could play for the last shot if they would like.
Gotta remember, Julia Lilienthal has been fantastic all game, just like Diaz, as that last line. Brady, already on a hat trick. Can she make it 4? Passes down low to X. Clock is continuing to tick lower. 25 seconds left. High slot. Quickly rotated to Eisfeld. She looks to give it down low and puts it out of bounds.
Yeah,
Golden flashes. Not a lot of time to work with.
Yeah, the pass just too high to handle. So that is definitely a defensive stop that Sayville needed as we wind down here. Quarter number 3.
5 seconds left. Doesn't look like a shot will come. Manning will just hold it, and we'll go into the fourth quarter. So another 2-minute break. Ellis, this is the last time that these coaches, barring a timeout that is, will get to talk to their team about what they're seeing.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, Kevin. Both teams still have both of their timeouts in their back pocket, so expect those to be utilized here in this fourth quarter. But again, Bayport, they gotta like where they're at right now through 3 quarters with the 2-goal lead. So we will see how Sayville responds to start the fourth quarter. But looking forward to the final 12 minutes of this game, as it is certainly looking like it is heading for a phenomenal finish.
Couldn't agree with you more. Once again, you are watching live on LILJ, brought to you by the LI Sports Network. My name is Kevin Broderick, joined by Ellis Joshua on the microphone. Rowan Loddick producing above us and running the replay. Wally Mitchell on the camera. Got a minute to go here in this quarter intermission. Olivia Brady, talk about a game for her.
Yeah, and Olivia Brady, she is definitely a big-time performer for this Phantoms team. The moment certainly does not faze her, as she has shown time and time again throughout the course of the season. Again, I love seeing underclassmen step up in big moments when the lights are brightest on varsity. And Brady has certainly done that here today with the hat trick in this matchup.
Obviously, for anyone following along with the NCAA action, we're approaching that time of the year where you get conference championships, where you get the national championship. I'm sure a lot of these girls are looking on to the teams that they're going to go to in the future and rooting them on as much as they can. Again, we opened the show, Ellis, talking about how many players are committed to how many different schools.
Oh yeah, the list is very lengthy of college commits between both of these teams.
Yep.
And they still have, some of them, of course, their time winding down here in their high school careers. Others still a little bit more time left with another year to go for those that are current juniors. But cannot wait to see them when they ultimately take the field at the next level.
Some of them staying on the island as well.
Yeah, 100%. And again, we gave a quick shout out to the Stony Brook women's lacrosse team earlier. Shout out to SBU and Erica Krusher of the Phantoms. 2025 committed to Stony Brook, so she'll be staying right here at home playing college lacrosse in her backyard.
She'll hope to take advantage of some of the players that are already there, like Isabella Caparucio, but obviously there's other teams on Long Island that some of these girls are committed to. I know LIU is one of them. I believe, actually, I don't think there is a Hofstra commit on the teams in front of us.
No, not in this one, but certainly across the island for sure.
So we'll go back to the draw control. 12 minutes left on the clock. That's all that remains in regulation. 8-6 the score. Tied for the biggest lead that the Phantoms have had this entire game. For Sayville, their biggest lead was in the first quarter. The first 3 goals belong to them, and the opening draw control of the fourth quarter will as well. I've been talking about the sun and how it might be a problem for Diaz. Well, now it's Lilienthal's cross to bear as she will be staring into that bright, fiery object in the sky.
And this is a big opening possession here for Sayville to start the fourth quarter. Nice job by Carly Cangelosi, who was the one that initially came up with that ground ball. So Sayville, they would love to get off to a quick start here in the fourth to have the Phantoms on their heels a bit.
Golden flashes. Give it down low to X. DeSimone. She's had herself a good game on both sides of the ball. DeSimone gets it again, looking for a passing target. McNamara is the intended, but instead it was intercepted. Looks by number 3.
That's a nice interception by Peyton Weibrecht. Read that play perfectly and was all over that pass for the INT, giving the ball back to Bayport.
Now DeSimone into the offensive third. Minute gone by in this fourth quarter, 11 of those still to remain. This would be a huge goal for Bayport to come up with, a 3-goal lead. They haven't had it in the entire game. Brady, left side of the arc. Covered by Bafardi, doesn't like her attacking angle, so she'll give it down low to X, flip back around Iceville. Over to the right side now. Erica has it, gives it off. Maine coming into the fan with some room. Hands free, the shot is saved by Lilienthal and sails out of bounds. Back up will belong to the team in blue.
Huge save by Lilienthal to keep this a 2-goal game as the ball stays with the Phantoms on the backup. And we have a stoppage of play here.
I believe the referees are confirming some details amongst each other.
And one of our officials making their way to the scorers table.
Is it essentially another shot clock issue, Ellis?
You know, I think it could potentially be, but it did look like, I thought there was a save there, but I guess not because they're running down the shot clock.
Yes.
So it looks like we have, is that 36 seconds?
Yep.
36 seconds on the shot clock here, so no reset on this possession for the Phantoms.
Shot definitely tricked both of us. So it's understandable why the scorers table would reset it over there. 26 seconds is still enough to work with. Bayport continue to rotate it around the perimeter. 17 on the shot clock. Brady sitting on 3 goals. She'll give up her opportunity. Given over, almost intercepted by DeSimone.
Oh, what a potential turn of events.
Yeah.
You said it, Kevin. DeSimone almost picking off that pass, but just mistimed it by a hair. It did make its way to Ava Mine, and she draws the shooting space.
DeSimone was just a hair away from intercepting that one. Now Lilienthal is going to be tested here on the free position shot. She knows it's coming. Wind up there, down low, and they score. A 3-goal lead. The biggest of the game. 8:47 left in regulation.
As we take another look at this one, and you said it, Kevin, the finish down low. And Eva Mine, one of the hardest shooting players on the island, would love to get a radar gun when she shoots the rock. And that is a big goal here in this fourth quarter to give Bayport their biggest lead of the game, up 9-6 with 8:47 to play.
So this is our advertisement. If you have a radar gun and free time at roughly 4 o'clock, next time that Sayville plays, we won't give you money, but we'll give you a shout out on air and some, I don't know, a hug, I guess, just to record those shot speeds. We would appreciate it. 8:37 left. It's a 9-6 game. Sayville down by 3. Now, they've had a 3-goal lead erased on them. The question is, can they flip the table and erase a 3-goal lead themselves? McNamara will try to do just that, working at the goal line extended and giving it back up top.
Yeah, and it's all about how you respond when you face a little bit of adversity. And for Sayville, still plenty of time left in this game.
Out in front, she scores. There's the first. Bafardi will complete her hat trick, I believe, and go back to the draw control circle.
And yes, that is in fact a hat trick for Sophia Bafardi. And just what Sayville was looking for. A huge response as Bafardi, she shuffles the cleats there, finishes with the left. And now a 9-7 game with still 8:10 remaining in the fourth.
If there's anyone you want to get going in the fourth, it is Bafardi. Again, we know this, everyone at home knows this, everyone on the field knows this. Lacrosse is a game of streaks. If you can win draw controls and score goals, you can just do that in a 1-2 punch as long as you want.
Yeah, and winning the draw, of course, certainly goes a long way. So let's see if Sayville can win another one here, or will Bayport have an answer?
Flips it high into the air, and Bayport does have that answer. Looking to get it into the offensive end, and a timeout called by the Phantoms.
And we get our first timeout here of the day, taken by Coach Gick and the Phantoms. So I think he wants to kind of rally the troops, settle them in here after giving up that goal. A big win to get possession back, and now try to diagram up a play to kind of keep Sayville at bay here and have an answer to go back up by 3.
Again, this is also the point in the game where you start talking about conditioning and which side is ready for this war of attrition.
Yeah, you know, and that's a great way to put it, Kevin, a war of attrition. And of course, both of these teams, they have plenty of top flight athletes playing, of course, for 2 very storied and demanding programs. And with the level of competition that they face year in and year out, you know that these players are in tip-top shape. And now really, of course, getting ready for the stretch run, not just here in this game with 8 minutes remaining, but the stretch run of the season here as we're winding down and before the playoffs approach. And this game, of course, will have implications as to how the playoff seeding shakes out in Suffolk Class C. So still a lot to be decided here. And again, these were your number 1 and number 2 seeds last year. Sayville the 1 seed, Bayport the 2 seed. Now, of course, your county championship is played at a neutral site, which this year will be over at Smithtown West High School. So no home field advantage there for either of these 2 teams. But of course, in terms of where you fall in the bracket, whether you're 1 or 2, that'll of course dictate who you wind up playing in the opening round of the playoffs. And again, so many tough teams in Class C, whether it's Rocky Point, West Hampton, Mount Sinai, Miller Place, Islip, just a number of tough teams in Class C that really make it such a deep conference.
So as we're ready to return to the action, possession will obviously go over to Bayport, as they were the ones who called the timeout.
Yeah, so the ball is starting with number 2, Olivia Brady.
Good swim move right there from Brady. Obviously a swim dodge, not really a thing in women's lacrosse like it is in men's. Not deep enough of a pocket. Pass over to the left side of the field. Iceville holds at the left arc and gives it down low. A response right here would open a 3-goal lead back up just after the Golden Flashes found their first. Lilienthal. Oversight right now, could look to intercept a pass if it comes over the top of the crease. This is a patient possession right now for the Phantoms. Finally some pressure coming in will flush the player out of the X position. 7:18 left in the game. Ice filled. Spinning around some traffic. Passing it off to the right. Great 2-on-1 defense right now. The pass out in front is tipped loose, and Lilienthal will come in for the scoop.
On a nice job by Bafardi, getting a stick in the passing lane, coming up with that deflection, and Lilienthal ultimately securing it. And now the ball back with Sayville on offense, looking to make this a 1-goal game. A huge defensive stance for the Golden Flashes.
Looking to make it 2 in a row after the defensive stand. DeSimone trots to her right, passing it down low, McNamara. McNamara will take her time, finding a lot of open space beyond the perimeter. Back over to DeSimone. They'll operate in each other's shadows, now down low. At the X position is none other than Bafardi. Gives it up top. McNamara to her left. Sayville chants erupting from the crowd near us.
Yeah,
and we're going to get some contact right here. Is a potential cross-check, Ellis.
Yeah, a lot of contact there, as we are going to have the clock stopped. And looks like that's Carly Cangelosi.
It is.
Who is down. So she's going to get attended to right now as the trainer and Coach Jensen make their way out onto the field, and let's hope that she's okay.
It looked like she was grabbing at the right side of her rib cage.
Yeah, she's still on the ground, so now she's going to sit up, but let's just hope that she's okay.
Is getting up now, walking under her own authority.
Yeah, that's a good sign to see for sure.
Jogging over to the sideline now. It looks like she will take a seat for at least a little bit. Looking to see who possession will go over to in terms of which player on
Yeah,
the
possession.
Golden Flashes.
Yeah, possession's going to start with number 20, Jenna Messina.
So Messina on the left side of the arc. 5:58 left in the game. 7 seconds did tick by before we got the medical timeout through. So obviously that not going to be put back onto the clock. Could potentially play a factor in the late stages of the game, but we're not quite there yet. McNamara giving it to X. Most recent goal scorer, Bafardi.
Yeah, now just 10 to work with for Sayville on the shot clock.
Got to find something quickly. Pass out in front. Shot taken and ripped high. I think it was partially interrupted by someone from Bayport.
And this is going to end up being a shot clock violation, as the shot by Galaris not on cage there. So Bayport, they get the stop to preserve the 2-goal lead.
A stop from either side since the last draw control. So this game slowing down a little bit just exactly when Bayport would want it to slow down. They're still nursing this 2-goal lead.
Yeah, now inside of 5 minutes remaining in the game, still time for Sayville, down 2 goals right now. But this kind of feels like one of those have-to-have-it type of stops on this defensive stance.
Brady. Hat trick already. Richard. Back to Brady. Pressured quickly. She'll rotate it to the left. Icefeld with it. Trying to move into the fan. Finds an open target. The shot. Did it go in? It did. Bayport celebrating. We get the whistle now, and it's a 3-goal lead with 4:24 left in regulation.
And that one for the Phantoms, scored by Ava Mine. What a handle there by Mine on the feed inside. And on the shot, that one does in fact sneak through for what's her second of the game. And the lead now back to 3 for Bayport with 4:24 to go in the fourth.
Now, Ellis, if you are Sayville right now, knowing that goals have been a little bit harder to come by and you're down by 3, do you start feeling a little bit more of a hurry up in your offense, or do you just try to trust your game and play how you've been playing?
Well, I think you definitely still trust your game, and you trust the players that you have to try to mount a rally here. One thing I'm looking for, let's see, if Sayville wins the draw, does Coach Jensen use a timeout here? Would not be surprised if he does, if they can come up with the draw.
Bafardi flips it, almost got a stick on it. Ball is loose now. Icefield getting a couple of scoops, and she'll come away with it. Icefield now into a breakaway, takes a lot of contact and will hit the deck. Free position shot should be upcoming for what potentially would be the biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, and that's just a big ball secured off the ground by Aubrey Icefield. And watch out for her in the open field with her speed. And she takes a ton of contact. So the rock will stay with Icefield.
Right side of the fan. She'll pass it up and they'll play the clock. One more to the left and another free position shot upcoming.
Yeah, and I think this is where now you definitely look at the time and score situation if you're Bayport. Smart decision by Icefield pulling that one out. And now this one starts with Emma Shanahan. Expect her to do the same.
Remember, the clock is still ticking on these timeouts, so that just helps the Phantoms out even more. That's not an error on our graphic card. Olivia with it. To the X position. Time is now the most valuable asset for either team. It's one of those moments where this clock couldn't tick faster if you are the Golden Flashes, but it feels like it's an eternity for Bayport Blue Point.
Yeah, and essentially Bayport, they can run this possession down to pretty much 2 minutes remaining in the game if they like.
Pass out in front, they're free and they score!
And that's another goal scored by Ava Mine, giving her a hat trick. And this is now the largest lead of the game. And how about the dish by Icefield? Mine the beneficiary. And it's now an 11-7 lead with 2:38 remaining.
Looks like we got a good contingent of the Bayport boys lacrosse team across the field from us, Ellis. Like you're saying, a town rivalry, they're not far apart from each other, so a decent amount of Bayport fans have made their way over.
Oh yeah, and that is definitely to be expected due to the close proximity between these two teams. And while we're here at Sayville, gotta give a quick shout out to St. Anthony's head coach Darcy Messina in the house. Of course, a Sayville native, but coaching at St. Anthony's. But a huge draw here for Sayville. Can they muster up 4 goals in 2:20?
It would be a astounding comeback. Dee Simone trying to start it off. Her stick was interrupted, and we will get a call because of it. So Dee Simone going to the fan, looking to make it a 3-goal game again with 2:06 left. Still ticking down, will hit that 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and if you're Sayville, you're thinking score, win the draw, and then score again. That's how it's got to be.
Dee Simone to start it off. Diaz got it down low. 1:50 left, the ball hits the floor, and a whistle will come through for a reset on the possession.
Sophia Diaz, she had other ideas on that free position shot.
But another one upcoming here.
Yeah, the contact here taken by Morgan Farrell.
So Farrell trying to get it going instead. 94 seconds left in the game. Farrell in on net, she scores!
So a much needed goal there for the Golden Flashes. That's Farrell's first of the game. 11-8 now with 1:31 to play.
Now it's all about Bafardi and what she does at the draw control circle. Ellis, you set it to start the quarter. Timeouts remaining for both sides. We've seen timeouts taken for both sides now.
Yeah, so now this timeout taken by Coach Jensen, as they're going to look to muster up a win on the draw here after that goal. So they're hoping, of course, out of this timeout, they can get another possession and try to execute their offense here to creep a little bit closer.
A nice hush going over the field for now. Obviously, both sides can feel the tension of this game. As much of a lead as Bayport have, considering the time that is left, I don't think they feel comfortable until it is listed as a win in their season total.
Yeah, this is one of those games where if you're playing a team that you feel is at your equal, then it's a situation where you definitely don't feel comfortable or complacent, and you don't breathe that sigh of relief until the clock ultimately does hit 0. And of course, Bayport, they know just how good this Sayville team is. So you have to play this game out until the clock does in fact hit 0.
So Bafardi looking for a much needed draw control win to spark a 4-goal rally. Take a couple of seconds on the setup. Ball now between the sticks. It's 13 on 13, has been all day. Bafardi flipping it high into the air. Loose, Bafardi coming in for the scoop. Who has it? It's going to belong to Sayville.
Yeah, Cangelosi coming up with that possession.
Pass to the fan, now loose once more. Bafardi comes in, Bafardi scores!
Sayville goal!
Her 4th of the game. And that pass looked like it got deflected and somehow made its way into the stick of Bafardi. What a handle there. And the score.
Talk about hand-eye coordination. That's not a play that you practice in the backyard. That's just talent right there. 9-11 the score now. Bafardi back to the draw control. 2 goals the difference.
That is just what Sayville needed.
Scored by number 13, Sophia Bafardi.
Now, one of those draws you have to have if you're Sayville. Bayport looking to come up with it and potentially run out the clock.
Draw control this time, bounced into the turf, and it looks like we'll have a procedural. Redoing it.
Yeah, the ball did not reach its highest point there. So we'll do this one again.
Game of inches right now. Ball tipped up. Maine come away with it. And timeout, I believe, called.
Yeah, big win for Ava Mine on that draw. One of those that you feel was gotta have it for Sayville, but Mine coming up huge.
Especially knowing that Mine lost the last one that led to a quick goal. You don't want her to get rattled. She didn't.
No, not at all, of course, and we've seen the way that the battle has gone here at the draw circle. How about the Phantoms? Getting down with it in the huddle. Feeling the tunes here at Sayville. And they can sense it. 1:12 on the clock. It's just about being able to close out this game if you're Bayport. You want to be disciplined, you want to be smart, and most importantly, you want to value this possession. Don't want to have a turnover if you're the Phantoms, and you know that Sayville is going to look to bring the heat with the pressure coming out of this timeout to try to force a turnover.
Again, 88 seconds on the shot clock. So Ellis, he gave a little bit of the breakdown about needing to force the turnover, but the specifics, the devil is always in the details. How can they actually do that without giving up enough space for someone to beeline towards net, take another shot? You got to feel at this point, another goal from Bayport could seal it.
Yeah, well, if you're Bayport, really, you're not even looking to score at this point. For them, it's really just about goal prevention. You have the 2-goal lead, and if you can just run out the clock as much as possible, then you're going to come away with a win. So look for Sayville to really put a ton of pressure on ball, start doubling, doing anything you can to try to force a turnover. And Bayport, of course, they know that. They will not really be looking to score here because you're just looking to kill out the clock, because if you do score and you go back to the draw circle, the ball could be going back to Sayville, which, of course, you don't want that if you're the Phantoms. And Sayville, as we would expect, pulling the goalie. So Bayport, they're going to look to move this ball around here and try to kill as much time as possible. Possession with Eisfeld.
60 seconds. Eisfeld getting harassed right now in her own end. Good moves to evade a lot of contact. Shot clock is dead. Another 15 seconds going by. Eisfeld still with it. At some point, the Golden Flashes just have to throw everything they possibly have at getting possession back.
Yeah, and this is such a smart decision by Bayport, as now we have a stoppage here.
Doesn't look like we have a timeout from either side.
Yeah, well, Bayport, they've used their 2 timeouts here, but looks like the ball definitely going to be staying with the Phantoms here with 28.7 on the clock. Looks like the ball will be in the stick of Ava Mine.
So Mine just has to be responsible right now. Has a player to her front and back. Potentially going to show off the speed when we get the whistle. Still a 2-goal differential. In 28 seconds, it's hard but not impossible. Coaches just barking out the smallest details right now to try to either come back from a 2-goal deficit, or if you are Bayport, to hold on to this. Remember, to start the game, Sayville was up 3-0. It was a great comeback in the first quarter for Bayport. We get the whistle. Quick pass over to Diaz. She'll control it. Diaz working around, giving it back below the goal line. 20 seconds left in regulation. Mine getting pushed to the extremities, still holding on to it, finding an open pass. They'll flip it far into the offensive end. Ground ball upcoming, and it will be taken back by the Golden Flashes, but little too late. 4 seconds left, make it 3, 2, and 1. Bayport will win.
We have a goal here,
We do have a goal.
Yeah, the goal scored by McNamara.
With literally 0.1 seconds left.
Yeah, 0.1 left. And that's, of course, why that was such a smart decision by Bayport with what they did with the ball. And then you send it up the field with about 10 to 12 seconds left. Up by 2. So that goal here won't cost you if you're the Phantoms, as it's all cosmetic here at this point.
Yep.
But what a game here that we've seen here today between 2 of the top teams, not just on Long Island, but in the state of New York.
Ball flipped up, and they'll go and swarm Diaz. Bayport take the 11-10 win. Ellis, I'm going to turn it over to you for one final time. Your reactions, your comments.
Just a great game, a very well-played game between 2 of the contending teams in Suffolk Class C. And how about this? You had 2 one-goal games last year, both going in favor of Sayville. 2025, so far in the regular season, advantage goes to Bayport, winning this one by 1. but don't be surprised if we see these two teams down the line in the postseason.
I couldn't agree with you more. And that will do it for us here on the LILJ YouTube page, brought to you by the LI Sports Network. My name's Kevin Broderick, joined by Ellis Joshua, Rowan Loddick. Above us doing the production and clipping the replays, Wally Mitchell on camera providing all of the shots. I got to give a special shout out to Ellis as well for being Mr. Long Island Lacrosse himself. If you have ever been around Ellis, he just gets hellos from everyone. The mayor of Long Island Lacrosse, shaking his head no.
That far.
He's a humble guy. He's a humble guy. But with that, we'll see here from Sayville. Final score 11-10 in favor of Bayport. Thank you so much for watching and listening.